You were talking about business models that are very dependent, very IP dependent. Of course, the patent troll is the original, completely IP dependent business model. But there's a piece in Ars Technica by Joel Mullen, who wonders whether this business model might be starting to go away, and that's because one of the original patent trolls, a lawyer named Ray Nero, appears to be going out of business, deciding to stop pursuing these kinds of cases. Peter, do you think that this is a harbinger of other things to come, or just an isolated decision?
I think that this is characteristic of a trend. I wouldn't say that patent trolls are going away completely. I think that it's still, in many ways, a rather lucrative business. But if you look at the numbers, the lawsuits brought by patent trolls or NPEs, non-practicing entities, the numbers have gone down. And I think that in many ways, this reflects patent reform occurring in the courts and patent reform occurring in Congress. So, for instance, in the courts over the past several years, there's been a lot of kind of tightening of the law related to remedies. So it's more difficult to get an injunction. There's a greater insistence on kind of a rational approach to damages, all of which kind of makes patent trolling a bit less lucrative. There have also been some changes to the law of attorney's fees, and so it's actually easier now to shift fees, which can make actually patent trolling quite expensive if you lose and you have to pay the other party's attorney's fees. And I think that this is also an outgrowth of legislative patent reform. We had the American Invents Act passed a few years ago. It instituted, among other things, inter partes review, which is kind of an opportunity to challenge issued patents in an administrative context, not in the context of full-blown litigation. And so this is a mechanism that we can use to weed out a lot of bad patents. So I think the confluence of all of these factors, plus, there is patent reform still being considered in Congress, it makes a landscape that's kind of less amenable to patent trolling, but I don't think it's going to go away completely.
What do you think, Yana?
Yeah, I would agree with what Peter said. I think that certainly we've been talking about patent eligibility, but that's really just one piece of a much larger puzzle and trend. And a trend both sort of as a substantive matter, certain patentability requirements, a tightening up of them in a number of different areas. And in addition, having these very important procedural developments with respect to the new post-grant administrative proceedings in the PTO, and remedies, as Peter mentioned, for example. It's all just a confluence of factors that are making it a much more hostile environment for patentees. And so, of course, I think perhaps less attractive for the NPEs to do what they've been doing. But I don't think it's going to go away entirely.